So I was supposed to do this earlier, but I didn't. I took a nap instead. So now we're here. I don't think that. Whatever. Ha! Love when I have stuff like this. That's not gonna fit. Okay. We're gonna repot this guy. Well, this young lady. And I was gonna do her earlier. So this is my Scindapsus Exotica. And isn't she gorgeous? Okay. So this is where we're at. Earlier today, I noticed that she was yellowing in some places. So I cut where I honestly took off the leaves that were yellowing. Then I pulled her out and was like, let's see what's going on down in the bottom. And of course, so we're gonna bump her up. She is in leca and some pon already, which is this substrate. She's not in any soil. So this is like a hydroponic system. This makes it a little easier to care for her. It's just annoying when you're trying to set it up initially. She's kind of dry anyways, so she does need to be watered. So the key right now is that I'm getting out all of that, and she's definitely coming through the basin. But, because I'm going to reuse that, but look at how the root system is structured in here. And this was a plant I originally ordered from Cali, and because they didn't have them in my area when I was buying them. So I ordered it from Cali. I had ordered a couple and they died. So she resent me some. And this is honestly what I have left of it. So here's a lesson that I learned about that. It was cold. I don't order plants in the cold no more because I live in Boston. I live in the East Coast. So if I see plants drop on a website and they're gorgeous, I will wait. I will wait until it gets warmer, like around this time of the year, because it's not as cold at night for them when traveling. Sometimes I take risks, but if I know the company and I know how they pack, but for the most part, nah. You can tell I did this when it was in the beginning of me starting to do leca, because I didn't put nothing in the bottom. Okay, things that I need to do are my dishes. Say it out loud so you can do it. Yes, I am. I'll do those today. So we're gonna repot this. Hopefully this is like a quick repot. The good thing is her roots are like already together for me, so it doesn't make it as difficult as it can be. And we're just gonna throw her in, to be honest. Some repots aren't as difficult. Some can be when you're doing your plants in pond, because you literally have to get them all, like every nook and cranny of them in the pond. So that can be a little timely. This is good though for me, because then I get to put her deeper into some, like I'm not trying to break up her root ball at all, because all of it that needs to be in here, so I want it to be in here the way it is. Eventually her root ball will break up on its own. So, because it just makes it 10 times harder for me to repot when I'm trying to like place all the roots properly. I keep shaking that around so all the air gets out, and then it settles into the root system. Like, I low-key do want to mess with her a little bit, but it gets so annoying sometimes. I'm not gonna hold you. It really does. Like, boom. Like so. And this doesn't even have roots. So I'm gonna stick this back in. Or it had roots and it just broke off. But I really want to cover this access right here, because this will all grow roots and it'll start to sprout new plants. So here's where it gets fun. For me, anyways. I'm gonna end up pouring this back out, because now I'm gonna go in. Sometimes being lazy is not the way to go. So let's do it. Boy, does this stuff get everywhere. So I'm trying to contain it as much as possible. Remember when I first bought pon, it was so inexpensive. Now it's really expensive, and that's from a 25-pound bag that I had bought during the pandemic. Let's take this back out. So whenever you're using leca, fun fact, you always want something covering your holes, your plant holes, pot hole. I'm still gonna do this at like 2 inches or 1.5 inches, right? Keep in mind, this gets put into a cash pot, something like this, right? It's put into a cache pot and I pour water in it. I do not have to water this often. It'll stay submerged. And as it runs out over time, I always know when she needs to be watered because her leaves will get real wrinkly. Like, she is so vocal, it's not even funny. So even though I didn't want to really mess with it, we're going to mess with it. And I'm going to actually go and get some cuttings from its bigger sister. Give me a second. Gang, is y'all here? So this is its big sister. Yeah, I really do like Scindapsus. And I take cuttings from this one frequently because it needs it from time to time. Like, for real, it really does need it from time to time. And they are so giving, so giving. And with this one, when I do take cuttings from it, I always put it back directly into the soil. I haven't done maintenance on this one in a while, so it's a good thing that we're here. This one's in soil, so you can actually see the difference of each plant. Like, this is in soil, right? That's in soil. This one is in pond. Okay, let me come back. Okay, I'm back. Whew, I don't know what I was thinking. I'm gonna do some maintenance on it for real. Like, I personally don't like when any of my trailing plants have huge gaps. So like these nodes had leaves on it. Okay? Don't get me wrong, it looks pretty, it looks awesome, but the reality is clipping it back, one, is not gonna hurt it. So we're gonna take it back. Two, it's gonna give you more plants. Trust me, it will. What I've noticed with Pixis Exotica, it's a little hard to repot or resubmerge into the soil sometimes. They can get finicky. They really can. So I've just kind of learned to take the cuttings and literally throw them into my ghetto, what the hell are these called? Incubators. But greenhouse. I'm sorry. I had to take an adult nap today earlier because I really was getting tired. And I really wanted to get this done before I actually really started to do some other work that I needed to do. So just bear with me. Right now I'm cutting it down where all the internodes are at an inch apart, like that. This is an internode. This is where the plant will reroot, okay? And this is gonna give me new plants, each section that I have right here. I could also put this in water or put it back inside, and we'll see what happens. When you do that, you really want to make sure that you're getting ready to water your plants, okay? That's a key notion. I don't like losing my plants. I'm gonna be real with you. I do not like losing any part of my plants, so I try my best to properly reroot them so that I'm making sure that it's getting what it needs. But, okay, let's get back to it. So I'm gonna reroot all of those pieces that I just cut down, and we're gonna get a whole new plant, basically. It's like when you're itching to like go buy plants, no. I'm pretty sure you can make some new ones at your house. I know I can. Unless it's like something you've been wanting for a long time, or it's completely different from what you have. But if it's like a plant that you see another Exotica and you just want to buy it because it's bigger, take care of the ones you have and then create another one. Yeah, it's going to take some time for it to get big, but that's really the fun part, is watching them get big, watching them grow, because they're actually teaching you what it is that they need from you, Like, plants are my ultimate self-care, for real, because I know that when I'm not taking care of myself, my plants reflect it, because then I'm not on top of them. Like, I'm on top of my plants, literally. Like, I'm always looking at them. I'm always trying to see what's going on. Don't get me wrong, I do have days where I get lazy, but lazy will be like, damn, I need to water you, but I'm busy, and I keep walking by it type of vibe. Maintenance, I do maybe try and do like once a month, for real, for real. And maintenance is usually me deep diving into my plants. Like I was going to turn on a light and change the way the light is on this plant particularly, and I noticed that it was like having some issues. So I was like, damn, what's going on? Let's see what you got, right? Which of course, like, it's great. The root system's great. These are great structured roots. It's happy. Of course, yellowing is not always a sign that your plant is dying. Yellowing is, one, could be overwatering, cut back. Two, this plant particularly needed to be repotted, okay? It needed to be repotted. So that was like one of the biggest things for me. That's why I said when I went to go get it, of course I took off whatever was like acting funky, all right? And yeah, I went fully in to see what the problem was. And of course, as soon as I took it out, it's cash pot. It was like, oh, you need to be repotted. Got it. I'm literally trying to put the vine that doesn't have anything on it, right? These parts inside the base, so that all of these points will actually sprout out new roots and new leaves. That's what I meant when I really didn't want to go inside and start playing with this plant. This is what I meant, but we're here now, so fuck it. And other plant parents know exactly what I mean if they deal with pon. It can be, this is the fun part, because this is where you're kind of designing your plant pot to look like what you want it to, but I'm also doing it so that it's gonna be comfortable, however, without tangling around itself like it is, but it's also gonna give it more ability to have more plants growing. So essentially, this will become a fuller plant, and it's gonna take like maybe like 4 or 5 weeks, to be honest, to even start adjusting to its new way. I know, listen, I do this a lot when I'm going to put a plant back into some soil, especially when the roots are long, because the roots are gonna start reaching for the bottom. Once it starts getting acclimated in here, it's gonna understand that the water is at the bottom. Okay, come on, what are we doing? I technically could cut this and make a whole nother thing. That's what I mean. Plants are just so giving. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put you back in here. And this plant is now super full, right? Which is what I want. Even though I love it trailing, it'll trail again. Trust me, it will trail again. It'll trail again. So now we can pour in the pon. Now that we have the whole root system set up the way we want. Now we're gonna shake that in there. And we're gonna water this from the top, right? This time. It's crazy, like depending on what plant it is that's in pon, I water from the top anyways, because it's not like pon and leca are a substrate that have nutrients. They don't. It does not. Understand, it gets dusty as hell. And then I still gotta find a new cash pot for it. Any of my plants that are in leca or letusa or pon anyways, I always keep them in a cash pot because I want to see how the root system is actually managing. I think I might finally cut this pretty guy because they're growing all over the place. Wow thing, aren't you? You are a wild thing, you. These are wet sticks, so anyhow, like it kind of just doesn't make sense to try and keep having it do what it was doing just because it's trailing. Like again, I said, I would rather have it with good structured roots than just be trailing. So cutting it back some to see what it does. Not even just see what it does, to give it a better structure. I'm here for it. It's like cutting out dead shit in your life. Remember I said you want to make sure everything that you're trying to cover with the plant is submerged in the pon or leca. if that is the substrate of choice that you're using, okay? And that's what can be the freaking pain, is trying to get that the way you want it. That's why I said I really didn't want to mess with it, but here we are, so might as well just get it done now, so that way I don't got to deal with the nonsense of it later. But I just have, it has so many different points where I can cut it, or, you know what I'm saying, keep it submerged. Like, sometimes when you buy plants, no, that's what your plants are. A whole bunch of cuttings put into a pot. That's what's making them full. So when you're having your plants like go through these periods where they're dying and you don't know why, that's why. That's fucking why. The growers just essentially sent you a baby. They sent you a fucking baby that they have from cuttings that just literally rooted. And if I don't care if I'm telling fucking plant secrets or not, but it's the fucking truth. You know how many plants I done bought thinking they were like established plants and they weren't. It was just a baby. So it's always good too when you buy your plants to let them be in what they're in, okay? It's gonna go against the grain, I'm sure, but let your plants rest. They're new in your home, they're gonna adjust, they're gonna do some weird shit. Let them adjust. If the plant hasn't been in your care for a long time, take a step back. Take a step back. Get to know it. For real. Get to know the plant. Let the plant get to know you and figure out how it wants to work in your environment. I talk about this a lot in my ebook, Plant Care 101. That's what it's all on my website for anyone who is interested in learning some scientific facts in easy plant care. Dude, just, can you get it together? Like, I could technically cut this, and I am. Oh my God. That's what I mean when you start looking at the maintenance of your plants. You won't believe how many babies I'm about to have now because I decided to come and check on this guy, which is cool. And I'll show you exactly what I mean, what I do in my ghetto greenhouse. This is my ghetto greenhouse. And these are all my babies. And look at my little Exotica. I got a few in here. So I literally take them, cut them, and leave them in here for a while until they're nice and established. And then I'll put them in some soil, but like really kind of like wet soil, because it's been, this is kind of like, this is a humidity dome, basically, if I'm making any sense. And I save containers like this for this purpose. So we're gonna put these guys right in here like so. We're gonna lay these right in here, root down, so that, and I wanna say it's taken months for my Exotica cuttings to grow. So, and I'm leaving them just like that in here. And I got another one. And this one I'm kind of really excited about because I have some philodendron pink ladies in here from my pink lady that I cut up. And it just takes a while. Like, it just takes a while for them to root out. So my philodendron pink lady, when it does root, I'll put it into my big terrarium in my bedroom. And I'll put it in there. But these particular, like my Exoticas and my golden pothos, my neon golden pothos, I'll put in there. Some of my Exoticas I'll actually put in my chandelier. Let me show you what that looks like. I'll put in this bad boy. And I built this years ago. And it has all different types of philodendrons, Scindapsus. So anyhow, yeah, back to what I was doing. I was cutting this. And this is a new leaf. And the reason why I like the Exotica Pictus is because of how big the leaves get. And these things get big. And it likes to trail. So like, who doesn't like a gorgeous plant? Usually you don't want the wet stick so big, but this is holding on to a lot and it's already calloused off on this side. So it's gonna make a nice middle piece for this. And voila, ain't nothing harder than trying to plant something in your leca. I swear. Because it's not like you're sticking it in soil. That's why you saw me take it out, put it on, put it back in. Like, it's annoying. Lights on, lights off. Anyhow, damn, I forgot to plant this. But this is okay because this is kind of dying out. Whatever this is getting kind of funky and yellow. And we don't want that. So we're really going to snip that off. Because this isn't even going to root out anyways. So we're going to keep that how it is and plant that somewhere else. And now these are the cuttings, right? So I have a whole plant. This is what I mean. You'll get a plant thinking that it's all rooted and it's a whole bunch of wet sticks. And I'm going to make a whole nother Exotica. Look at that. Okay. Now let me find a cash pot. I'll be back. We're just going to go with this. Listen, I know. I don't really care. I'll buy another cash pot for it another time. Because this isn't going to work and I love this, but it doesn't fit. We're going to water this. Let me just water it. Fuck it. I'll be back. Voila! So this one's free to go. And be great. Come on now. Right. And now we're going to... Motherfucker. This is what I mean. It's really hard to plant something in here. Like you literally are going to have to take some of it out to get it to stay in. Okay, that should be good now. There we go. That should be good. Oh, baby, you okay? Okay. So this guy's done. Back to normal. Now let's see what this girl is doing since I'm already on this wave. Then I'm going to plant these guys up. I kind of want to put them in my bathroom. I might put 2 in my bathroom. 2 pieces in my bathroom. But the rest are actually I'm just gonna pot up 2. I might put this piece up in here. I think I have 1 piece of Exotica and it came from this plant in there. Girl, you just be driving me crazy. Let's bring the diva over here. Now this is a cash pot and she's sitting on a pot inside of this cash pot because she also has watering plugs, right? For days when I can't get to her and water her. And she too tends to be very vocal. I've been wanting to see what was going on with her up here. And to be honest, she looks really good. And I cut her down. Man, did I cut her down. Not really to and I just repotted her again last year. And I bumped her up because girl was tight, right? So honestly, at best, she doesn't really need to be watered, but I'm gonna give her just a little bit with some fertilizer. And I always fertilize all my plants anyways. Gonna give her some fertilizer. I wanted her to be full up top when I initially repotted her. So I did a lot of different things. Well, not so much that I did a lot of different things. I just took a lot of shorter pieces that I had cut and put it into the soil. And we went from there. I was just like, whatever happens, happens. Let's see what happens. But this is like plant care maintenance. Is always looking at your plants, going in, checking them, seeing how they're doing, right? Especially if you haven't taken them down from an area that you put them in a while, okay? Looking at everything, making sure the structure's good. I actually want to get her a deeper pot, put her into a 12-inch. This is a 12-inch, but I want a deeper one. To be honest with you, this might be a 10. I want her in a deeper 10-inch that can actually just slide in here instead of how I have it, but this works for me. And I just want it just a little deeper, not so much. They really don't like to be in super deep pots. They kind of like the shallower pots, to be honest. So you got to keep that in mind. Like, where did you just come from? Did I just put you in here? I think I just put you in here. Yeah, this is the part. Like, she really doesn't need to be watered. Her soil, it's dry. It is dry. I do have time to water her before her lights go off. Like, people always say water your plants super early. Do water my plants early, but my plant lights are on 12-hour schedules, so I can actually water her with a little bit of water. I'm not gonna heavily water her. I'm gonna give her a drink though. Like this part I'm about to show you. It's kind of like, why even bother? What is going on? This plant is doing its own thing. It's kind of swirling and dipping and diving back into its pot, which is cool. I'll just leave it. I'm not even gonna fuck with it, to be honest. There you go. Prime example of what I mean by this plant could be doing so much more than putting energy towards this stalk that's missing so much. So we're gonna cut it. That's the thing too, you gotta look at it as, if this doesn't have any leaves on it, it's out the pot, it's not really, you know what I mean? It's losing nutrients because it's not as thick. Why are we keeping that? It's draining too. It's also like the plant is putting energy into that when it could be putting energy into itself. You know what I'm saying? The plant that keeps on giving, that is the plant that keeps on giving. Yeah, this is wild. I can plant this whole thing back in here into the soil. Because like even this part, I might not put it back into the pot. I know, I'm sorry. Because the way this plant is going right now, it's already crazy. If I can fit some in here, deep in here, I will. Let's see if I can do it without disturbing anything. It can be hard also, because I could just put this piece in there and we gotta wait for this to do its thing and root out the two pieces I've added in here today. Woo, lucky lady. Who's that lady? Who's that lady? Such a fine lady. All right. Yeah, this is, I'm gonna cut it up and see, but usually when the stems get really skinny like that, they don't really do much. They're just grasping kind of in a sense for air. Like the yellow part we're not keeping. It's just kind of a waste. It's already dying off. We'll see, we'll dump it into the thing. Why not? Worth a shot. Honestly, and anytime you open these, you should be spraying them back down. This one I sprayed down earlier because I've been cutting in here all morning, but show you what I mean. Anytime you open your ghetto greenhouse, spray down, because those little babies need to be wet. Okay, I need to do the same for this one. All right, I'm gonna plant up the other ones off film, but you get the gist. Oh, let me water it. Oh, thank God. Hey, girl. And I'm not, when I mean I'm not giving her a lot of water, I'm not. I just want to get the top wet. Just a little bit. Just enough. And that water is not even going to run out of her. Because it's literally just a, she was thirsty. Bitch was thirsty. But anyhow, thank you for tuning in. And like always, remember that you're the biggest and the greatest. And I love y'all. Peace.